I'll try to explain it as best I could in these particular terms because it's metaphysical and that's the background that me and your father come from, right? Looking at a thing and seeing beyond a thing, you know, seeing beyond the surface of the thing. So in my weird reality, I have this premise that we live in a multi-contextualized, multi-dimensional reality, you know, and just take, you know, the concept of the law of these fixed laws that we have in this universe, one of them being that, you know, there is a law of duality, right? And then you have this concept in your mind about numbers, you know, numbers are infinite, so we're told. You know, we even have pi to prove that numbers are infinite, right? But you have one number out of all numbers that does something that's very unique. So when you take the integers of 2 times 2, you arrive at 4. When you take 2 plus 2, you arrive at 4.
Right.
So 4 has this distinct personality, this characteristic, the only number in the universe that you're able to arrive at a conclusion through the avenue of or the dimension of addition and also the dimension of multiplicity, you know. So I'm looking at that and I'm seeing the way that both of these dimensions somewhat behave, you know. And when I'm looking at reality as we know it, I'm seeing the interlapping and interplay between these particular dimensions. And when I see 44s, to me, that's me identifying, like, as if God was a weaver, the thread points where the needle goes in and it comes out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's kind of where I have focalized my attention to say, look, I can show you through an algorithm because I'm also operating off the premise that we live in a program, right? That we virtually live inside of the matrix, that we live in a sort of a computer simulation, right? That's composed of blocks and pixels.
Right.
So the law of 44 is the cosmic blockchain, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And we just like identifying these different points of reference to say, look, I can show you how this is related to that, and seemingly they would have no relationship. You know, we approach things as if they're compartmentalized, but everything is connected. That's another law of correspondence that we're taught, that all things are connected.
Right.
We're also taught that all things are mental. So I'm also utilizing the law to show people, look, you can go inside of the matrix, hence my name, the blue pill. You know, You take the blue pill, you go in the matrix, right? And that's where you can hack the code. That's where you can have a identifiable, tangible effect on a reality that some people think is fixed. And I'm saying, no, it's not. It's very fluid.
So when in your journey did you come across this? Like, was it?
This would be around the year of 09, 010, you know what I'm saying? I was doing research for a lecture that your father was a part of as well, called Blueprint 322.
Okay.
You know, this was actually a lecture that was prompted by the conversation in the community at that time about Illuminati and Jay-Z.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my inquiry into that particular topic led to the law. So I referenced Jay-Z a lot because that was the catalyst for which I started my research.
He does a lot of work with fours.
Yeah, and me bumping into the number just through research, right? Innocently enough, you know, me seeing 44 repetitiously over and over again, and it's saying something to me. You know, it aesthetically, it looked very good to my eye, but it also communicated to me when I was doing my research. And then I just remember 44 Fours, you know, a song that he popularized. And I, being a avid fan of his, you know, I was just kind of hip to the fact that this dude has a preference for this number 4 and later 44. And I just, you know, I just stuck with my hunch to say there's something here. And I stuck with it, and it just opened the universe to me. So in that interim of time between 2010 and let's say 2017, I had always associated him with that number as time progressed and as more coincidences, if you will,
Right.
would appear, I always made a point of it to identify it in public, to say, look, you know, I called it before he got married on April 4th. I called it before, you know, so many other things took place. I damn sure called it before 444.
Right, that was like a layup, like that.
Yeah.
He just like put it
So
in front of everybody.
He just, you know, he caught up with the conversation, whether it was me putting it out in the universe or whether it was the universe putting it inside of him. Pause. That, you know, he became. When I say he became conscious, he became aware of a conversation that has always been entertaining him to begin with. Then he turned it into a form of entertainment. Then he made it a international, global conversation. And it not only showed his genius in marketing, right, but it also showed his genius in timing, because he was able to curtail the avalanche that would come by way of all of the sexual misappropriation. You know, Harvey Weinstein is his former business partner.
Right. Okay.
You know,
That's
these are
true.
all of his Democrat donor fundraiser
Right.
friends. This is his circle. You know what I mean? But look how he jumped off of that sinking ship. You know what I mean? By operating the redeeming quality of contrition.
Explain.
I'm gonna fall on the sword in public. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask for forgiveness. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be apologetic to say that, you know, I did something that was unbecoming of my obligations as a husband to my wife. I'm not gonna duck it. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm gonna admit it and make an art out of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And turn public sentiment against, you know what I mean?
Right.
Me potentially, possibly getting washed up in the court of public opinion, because this divine feminine tide is coming. How can I get on the right side of history as opposed to ending up underneath that wave and getting crushed? Because he was looked at, right, as the torchbearer for male chauvinism and misogyny in hip hop.
That's a good point. He did. Yeah. Okay. Because